Welcome to today's lecture. My name is Ajiba Shamla. I will be taking you a quiz on crop taxonomy, anatomy, and physiology of the lateral open and distance led agricultural science option. This video is for study section 1. Plant cells. Just like animals, plant bodies are made up of a variety of cell types that are organized into tissue. In a plant cell, tissues are organized into organs, and organs function together within the systems. At the end of this study section, you should be able to 1. Discuss plant cell, 2. Describe plant tissue, 3. Discuss the development of plant cell and tissue. Now, let's discuss the learning outcome one after the other. Plant cell. The bodies of living things are made up of cells. Cells are microscopic units which collectively carry out the processes that makes the living entity. Plant cell is regarded as a unit of life or a mass of protoplasm covered with a cell membrane and the cell wall. Plant cells are eukaryotic cells, that is, the DNA in a plant is enclosed within the nucleus. The most important distinctive structure of plant cell is the presence of the cell wall outside the cell membrane. Let's move on to cell history and theory. Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. Hooke examined a very thin slice of cork and saw a multitude of tiny pores that looked like the wall compartment of a honeycomb and therefore called them cells. The first man to witness a live cell under a microscope was Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, although the first man to make a compound microscope was Zacharias Janssen, and this was in 1674. The idea that cells were separable into individual units was proposed by Ludwig Christian Treviranus and Johann Jacob von Modhaver. In 1839, Schwann and Sheldon suggested that cells were the basic units of life. The observations of Hooke, Leeuwenhoek, Sheldon, Schwann, and others led to the development of the cell theory. Cell theory states that 1. All living things or organisms are made up of cells. 2. New cells are created by old cells dividing into 2. 3. Cells are the basic building units of life. What are the implications of cell theory? They are 1. Cells are the fundamental units of life. Nothing less than a cell is alive. 2. All organisms are constructed of and by cells. 3. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. 4. Cells are the functional units of life. 5. Groups of cells can be organized and function as multicellular organisms. 6. Cells of multicellular organisms can become specialized in form and function to carry out sub-processes of the multicellular organism. Then we move on to various types of plants. Plant cells are a type of eukaryotic cell that are found in organisms of the plant kingdom. As an organism grows, its cells become specialized to perform various specific functions. There are various types of plant cells, and they are 1. Parenchyma cells, sclerenchyma cells, collenchyma cells, we have the xylem cells, and lastly the phloem cells. 1. Parenchyma cells. These are the major cells of plants, and they make up plant leaves and are responsible for the plant's metabolism and food production. These cells are more flexible than others because they are thinner. They are living cells that have functions ranging from storage and support to photosynthesis and phloem loading. 2. We have the sclerenchyma cells, which are hard and tough cells with a function in mechanical support for plants. There are 2 broad types. We have the sclerids and the fibers. The sclerenchyma cells are typically dead at functional maturity. Then the third one is collenchyma cells, which are also hard, but not as hard as the sclerenchyma cells. They also provide plants with support, but normally when the plant is young, they grow and stretch as the plant grows. Collenchyma cells are live at maturity and have only a primary wall. Then number 4, the xylem cells, which are also known as water conducting cells. They are hard cells that bring water up to the leaves. They do not live past maturity, but their cell wall remains to allow water to flow freely through the plant. Number 5. The phloem cells. The phloem cells is a system of cells that transport sugar produced by the leaf throughout the plant. These cells live past maturity. Phloem cells mainly transport sucrose along pressure gradients generated by osmosis. The phloem cells consist of two types of cells. We have the seed tubes and the companion cells. Now we'll move on to the features of a plant cell structure and their function. 1. The cell wall. The cell wall is a rigid layer that surrounds the plant cells. It is made up of cellulose. The cell wall is a characteristic feature to cells of plants. Plant cell wall consists of three layers. We have the primary cell wall, the secondary cell wall, and the middle lamella. 2. The cell membrane. It is the outer boundary of the cell and semi-permeable membrane present within the cell wall, and it is composed of a thin layer of protein and fat. The cell membrane plays an important role in regulating the entry and exit of specific substance within the cell. Then 3. The nucleus. It is the control center of the cell. It is bound by a double membrane known as the nuclear envelope. It is a porous membrane which allows passage of substance, and it is a distinctive characteristic of the eukaryotic cell. 4. Cytoplasm, which is a gel-like matrix enclosed by the cell membrane. The cytoplasm supports cell organelles and also prevents from bursting or shrinking. 5. Vacuole. Vacuoles are known as cell storage center, which occupies 30% of the cell volume in a mature plant cell. Vacuoles are found in the cytoplasm of most plant cells. 6. Plastids. These are membrane-bound organelles that comprises of DNA. They are necessary to store starch, to carry out the process of photosynthesis, and also in the synthesis of many molecules that are required for cellular building. Plastids are storage organelles. Various types of plastids are ecoplast, chromoplast, and then chloroplast. Number 7. The Golgi apparatus. The Golgi bodies look like the endoplasmic reticulum and are situated near the nucleus. They are found in almost eukaryotic cells, which are involved in distributing synthesized macromolecules to various parts of the cell. 8. The endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-bound compartment which look like flattened sacs lined side by side. It is a large network of interconnecting membrane tunnels. 9. Ribosomes. Ribosomes are smallest membrane-bound organelle and the most abundant cell organelle, which comprises of the ribonucleic acid, which is the RNA, and protein. Ribosomes are sites for protein synthesis. 10. The mitochondria. Mitochondria are surrounded by two membranes. They are the double membrane organelle found in the cytoplasm of all eukaryotic cells. Then lastly, we have lysosomes. Lysosomes are called cider bags as they hold digestive enzymes, worn-out organelles, food particles, and any foreign body. Then the next learning outcome is plant tissues. Plants are multicellular eukaryotes with tissue system made up of various cell types that carry out specific functions. A tissue is a group of cells of the same type or of the mixed type having a common origin and performing identical functions. Plant tissue systems fall into one or two general types. We have the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. The permanent tissue is also known as a non-meristematic tissue. There are three classifications of meristematic tissues in plants. We have one, apical meristems, which contain meristematic tissue located at the tip stem, which enables the plant to extend length, and it lies laterally in strips of elongated cells extending from the apical to intercalary meristems, which occurs only in monocots at the bases of leaf blades and at nodes. Thirdly, we also have the lateral meristems. Meristems are differentiated into three main types of tissue. We have 1. Dermal, 2. Vascular, and 3. The ground tissue. 1. The dermal tissue covers and protects the plant, and ground tissue serves as a site for photosynthesis. They also provide a supporting matrix for the vascular tissue and nerves to store water and sugar. Vascular tissue transports water, minerals, and sugars to different parts of the plant, and it consists of two conducting tissues which are the xylem and the phloem. Permanent tissue. The tissue, which are derived from the meristematic tissues, are called permanent tissue. They are the tissue which have lost their ability to divide as they have attained them. There are various kinds of permanent tissue. We have the simple permanent tissue and the complex permanent. The simple permanent tissue, they are the tissues which are similar in function and are called simple because they are composed of similar types of cells which have common origin and function. 2. Permanent tissues. They are the tissues which are composed of two or more types of cells but contribute a common functions and are called the complex tissue. The various types of plant tissue system are the dermal tissue, the vascular tissue, and then the ground tissue. The dermal tissue of the stem consists primarily of epidermis and peridermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer of the primary plant body, which covers the root, stems, leaves, floral part, roots, and seeds, while the periderms are the outermost layer of the stem and roots of woody such as trees. So the vascular tissue. The xylem and phloem that make up the vascular tissue of the stem are arranged in distinct strands called vascular bundles, which run up and down the length of the stem. The xylem are dead with hollow cells, and it consists of only cell wall and plays a vital role in transporting water from the root to all parts of a plant, while the phloem are living cells which lack nucleus and other organelles. The ground tissue is mostly made up of parenchymal cells, but may also contain collenchymal cells and parenchymal cells that help to support them. The ground tissue towards the interior of the vascular tissue in the stem or root is known as the pith, while the layer tissue between the vascular tissue and the epidermis is known as the cortex. Functions of plant tissue. We have 1. They help in providing mechanical strength to both the internal and external organs. 2. They also help in rendering the elasticity and flexibility to the organs. 3. The tissue also help to transport materials throughout the plant and prevent water. They divide to produce new growth and build the mass of the plant. 5. They are involved in various cellular metabolism like photosynthesis. And we'll move on to the last learning outcome, which is the development of cells and tissues in plants. Development is a series of events by which a multicellular plant organ, tissue, or cell type arises from a single progenitor. There are 5 major processes of development in a plant. We have 1. Cell division. Cell division results in an increase in the number of cells, thereby contributing to growth. Growth through cell division called hyperplasia. Increase in cell number happens early in the development process. 2. We have cell enlargement. Cell enlargement refers to an increase in the size of the cell after the cell is derived from a meristematic initial. In many cases, the size of the cell increases before entering into another division. 3. Differentiation, which is the process by which initial or original cells undergo structural and functional specialization and thus resulting in distinct and specialized cells. 4. Pattern formation. Pattern formation may be defined as that developmental process by which cells become organized in specialized pattern tissues of their progenitor, which in turn gets organized into higher levels of patternized organization such as organs and whole. Number 5. Morphogenesis. Morphogenesis involves all the activities that are involved throughout the ontogeny from the basic organized into the specific function that are functionally effective and active, which are the characteristics of the adult stage plant or organ. Thanks for listening. I hope you've learned one or two things from this.